Episode 8 is basically Ryan Murphy showcasing that he has more in common with Sam Levinson than we thought. Episode 8 is just one huge filler and it's full of kinks and wild fantasies. So long story short, the case and trial with Chase Monroe has finally come to an end. Kara is with her gay best friend and he's busy getting in her ear asking when was the last time someone spread her cheeks. She goes on and on about how she doesn't really have time because she's busy with work and is a single mom. Eventually she lets this thought fester and decides to go to this dude who is now her former client and also a raging sex addict, Allura's ex-husband. You can't make this shit up. Chase is basically going to SA, Sex Anonymous. I didn't even know that was a thing. Kara doesn't really care about his recovery though. She's manipulative and only cares about herself. Surprise, surprise, a lawyer knows how to get what they want out of people. How shocking. These two end up hooking up in her office during work hours of all places and they're busy role playing, basically acting out all sorts of weird fantasies. Okay, they weren't that weird, but it was jarring because the person who Chase is screwing doesn't seem like she'd be into this kinky stuff. Or maybe this is just done to highlight how suppressed she's been feeling. I don't know at this point. Ryan Murphy is just putting it on display for the whole world to see. It's not as bad as Sam Levinson, but that's besides the point. Eventually, Chase comes to the realization that he has a problem and he shouldn't be hooking up with his ex-wife's enemy. It's kind of too late for Chase at this point because he should have never cheated on Allura with her personal assistant at the start of the series. Let me break it down in case you've forgotten or just need another refresher. Chase was married to Allura, he cheated on Allura with her personal assistant, and then Chase goes to his lawyer and decides to have sex with her in her office. So yeah, you decide. Does Chase have a problem or is he justified in doing what he did? I think the answer is obvious, but I know there's that one person watching this like, well... But either way, he's just confused because he keeps on going to Allura trying to implement the buyback clause. He goes to her office several times saying he's changed, that he's not the same guy, and proceeds to ask her to try again with him one more time. However, this time Allura isn't falling for it. She's even enforcing boundaries, telling him to stay away because she's done with his ass. We kind of get this heartfelt moment that follows when Kara tries to figure out why Chase is the way he is. It comes out so weirdly because she's trying to project her own faults and traumas onto him. She shows him her wrist and all the scars she has from self-harming with the razor blade. Chase says he's going to SA but doesn't know why he does it. Kara tells him he needs to figure out why he's addicted to putting his dick in different women. But the entire time he's being scolded at, he doesn't seem to be that interested. He's just slumped there on the couch. It's heavily implied that one of the main reasons Chase cheated on Allura is because she didn't let him touch her asshole. The worst part is, I'm not even kidding. There's a whole segment where they are fighting and Chase is raising his voice saying Kara is open to new things like butt play. It makes sense because in a previous episode, the PA said that Chase was into weird, kinky stuff. Hey, to each their own, right? Anyways, moving on to episode 9, the season finale. I thought that everything would come back full circle and they would tie in a lot of loose ends, but they didn't really do that. Episode 9 follows Kara wanting her final revenge. It starts off with her in therapy and she's busy scolding her therapist. She says she pays her $300 to $400 per session and she's been doing it for years, but there seems to be no progress. The therapist is there saying Kara is just a narcissist with problems and is also a sociopath, which happens to be right.
Walking down that hallway shaped like a clown cervix.
Throughout this entire episode, Kara wants revenge. She starts plotting, trying to put all the people who she thinks did her wrong on a list. Liberty, Allura, and of course, Dina. She really hates Dina, so with all that pent-up aggression, she does what you'd expect. Carefully and meticulously strategizes how to get back into the firm to become a partner so that she can destroy it from the inside out. Evil, yeah I know, but it's Kara, so it's not that shocking. Allura and the other partners at the firm are deciding whether or not to bring Kara in. To do this, they need at least 3 votes, so 75% of the people on the panel need to agree. Unfortunately, it ends up being a tie. 2 people voted for her to come back and 2 said no. At first, Kara thinks Dina voted for her since Dina was being nice to Kara, and she assumed that, oh, Dina feels bad for me. It turns out Dina realized she was right all those years to keep Kara far away from them, so she didn't vote for her to come back. This pisses Kara off because she thought Dina was on her side. This enrages her, so much so that she comes up with a smart plan to make Dina look crazy to everybody else at the firm. Since Doug died a couple of episodes ago, Kara uses this to her advantage. She forges a couple of texts to make it look as though Dina is crazy and wants to kill herself, suggesting her mental health is in decline. She even works with Dina's maid, either paying her or threatening to send her family back to whichever Hispanic country she's from, to convince her to turn against Dina. By the end of the episode, spoiler alert, Dina ends up getting arrested because she gets framed for murder, and this is all Kara's doing. It's heavily implied by the end that Kara is going to be put back into the firm, since she highlighted Dina's declining mental health. The way she presented the information made Dina look guilty, even though that's not the case. Kara is just very manipulative. She's always been like that. And yes, Ryan Murphy's All Is Fair has been renewed for a 2nd season. By the end of this season, Liberty's wedding is no longer happening because her fiance turned out to be a very bad guy. He was lying and jeopardizing her finances. There's also the whole thing of Liberty struggling to choose a bridesmaid and getting pissed off because the women at the firm didn't like the dresses, but that wasn't a major plot point, it was just there to buy time. So tell me what you thought of All's Fair this season, and do you think season 2 will be better or worse? I give it a solid 6 out of 10. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. The final episode was kind of interesting, but I kind of expected something like this to happen from the very beginning. I'm curious to see what the major plot point will be for the 2nd season. I know Disney is going to milk this for everything they've got.
The Big Dipper.